God, I remembered to unmute. Hooray, hurrah. Hooray, huzzah. I remembered. I'll forget to have done something else. But that's okay. I came on a little, well, I'm not early, I'm actually late. But then for the revised time, I'm early. But I still consider myself late, if that makes any sense. Yes, there's a very large helicopter flying overhead. Tina is here. I hope everybody is doing great. Yeah. Please share the broadcast. Please share the broadcast. Yeah. Yeah, no, I won't start reading until after 8 o'clock because I don't want to. I want truth in advertising. So I just thought, you know what? I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. Oh, baby, I'm ready to go. Oh, I'm ready to go. Oh, I'm ready to go. Oh, I'm ready to go. I don't know. That's a great song, though. I'm ready to go. Oh, I'm ready to go. Oh, I'm ready to go. I cleaned out the refrigerator, which was really gratifying. I felt like I had accomplished something really amazing. I can't really take credit for actually totally cleaning it out. It was me and Bobo, so it wasn't just me. But I did some of the gross part. But yeah, that felt good. I don't know. I like to celebrate little things like that, just in case. Kind of like, just take time to really appreciate accomplishments, no matter how mundane they may feel or, where other people might consider that not quite the accomplishment that I consider it to be. But I think you actually do understand. I feel like people do get that. I feel like that's really true. Right? Like oh God, sorry. I'm just putting out this little, I'm going to tell you, if you do any kind of like sitting in front of a computer, I would get a chair with a footrest. This thing is really, really so convenient because you can sit crisscross applesauce on the chair. And I really like it. Oh, ready to go. Still trying to figure out where I'm going to go tomorrow with the dinosaur. I have a couple of ideas. I'm not really sure. I'm going to have to kind of scope out, like, where's the foot traffic that I want, that kind of thing. I'm not really sure. What is it, Monday? Monday the what? What is tomorrow? The 10th? What is it? Oh, ready to go. Oh, it's June 10th. Okay. Coolio. Coolio. Man, you guys must have shared it. We're at 143 viewers across all the platforms. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Lolo's Lounge. I hope I don't disappoint you. Which is very nice. But yeah, welcome to Lolo's Lounge. Usually this is a gaming stream, or it has been in the past. I shouldn't say usually because it hasn't been consistent, but I did a gaming stream earlier today, and we need to get back to the book that we're reading. So I wanted to schedule some time to get the book done. And then I was late, and then I was early for the revised time, but that's still late. So here I am. So welcome everyone. David de GPTX. Bonjour and welcome and good evening. So here at Lolo's Lounge, we do a number of different things. And one of those things is reading pieces that add to our collective desire for media literacy, for a more perfect union, for a stronger democracy for everyone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So along those lines, we've read a couple of books that are political in nature about, the rise of Nazis in America in the 30s, pre-World War II, et cetera. And then also, a little bit of just challenges to democracy overall. And this time, one of our wonderful loungers, recommended The Ministry for the Future, which is Kim Stanley Robinson's science fiction kind of novelization of climate crisis and a potential what the Earth would face under kind of a mass casualty events related to the climate crisis and proposed decisions that the world would make. Good evening, that the world would make based on how to resolve it. And so it follows, but it does it in a narrative fashion, as Kim Stanley Robinson is a very well-known science fiction writer, award-winning. And so he brings yes, when I described it as, yes, I believe, and I trust and believe your recommendation that this is a hopeful, right? It was the International Institution. Yes, correct. Yes. That it is something around how does the world work together or not work together when it comes to facing, a host of issues around mass extinction, right? In terms of cooperation and blame and cost and all of the different things, and terrorism and anger and righteous indignance and things like that, of that nature. So it has a lot of the aspects, and it can be a really tough read. There's some really very vivid descriptions of death and dying and other things. So it's a tough. I would definitely recommend it for kind of high school and above. It's got strong language, etc. So yeah. It has short chapters. We're on chapter 26. It has over 100 chapters, so it's, we're just about, looks like we're just about 20% of the way through the book. Stephenson's Seven Eves addresses some similar issues, but more gonzo and incidental. Yeah. Interesting. Seven Eves. I've not heard of that. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that recommendation. I'm finding this book to be very interesting and very educational. Yeah. Oh, good. All right, great. Thank you for that recommendation. Stevenson's Seven Eves, Eves, addresses some similar issues, but more gonzo. That'd be interesting. I would like to read that. Hi, Basket Package. How are you? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. So and really the purpose of these broadcasts is to an easy read. Oh, that's good. You know how I love an easy read. I do. Good. I'm glad to hear it. So here, what I really want from these streams is for people to be able to really decompress at the end of the day. I try to do this when I read in quieter tones, and so hopefully it will be a relaxing audio experience for you. And there's a little fire that I built for you on the beach, so that'll just stay just like it is. It never needs tending, so you don't have to do anything. You just have to be here and relax. That's all. Your Sunday is done. Now, some of you might be in Australia and you might be on your Monday, so happy Monday. And for those of us just about to begin our week here in the States and in this part of the hemisphere, I guess. Is that the lateral too? Anyway, I hope that this kicks off a week in a more peaceful way. I don't normally, I ask if people do want to support my broadcast. It's really for these particular broadcasts. I really hope you'll buy the book. I really hope you'll go to a local bookstore and buy the book, or support the author and local bookstores in any way that you see, or donate to your favorite charity, whatever is meaningful for you. So basically what I'm trying to say is I don't intend or want these to be any kind of generating broadcasts, and I really want to encourage people. This is where I can provide commentary, my own commentary, as I read the book, and do it in such a way that is comforting to the ear. So, yeah, we'll offer it along under fair use. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of what we do here when it comes to bedtime with Lolo, and then just from some programming stuff, because I'm not ready to read yet. I'm gonna get a little high. I want to get a little high. So tomorrow I think it's at noon. I can't really remember what time. I think it's at noon. I need to really look at my schedule. So tomorrow at noon, I'm taking the dinosaur out. I don't know where he is. She is. I don't know where she is. I'm taking the half dinosaur out tomorrow, on the town, in the name of striking down propaganda that is damaging to our country and our voting public, and advocating for checking your voter registration, always throwing that message in there as well. I'm not sure where in Los Angeles I'm going to be. I haven't really quite decided. There's a couple of locations I could choose. We'll just have to kind of see. But I think around noontime is when I have that stream planned for. So I hope you'll join me for that. We'll do like a couple hours out of there and try and raise some awareness around media literacy, our favorite topic. And also then later tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific, et cetera, on Twitter, at Lolo13251797. Yeah. Just rolls right off the tongue. I host a weekly space on Mondays at 5 o'clock with hopefully when my friends can make it, because I know, it's like not every week they can, but it's usually wonderful members of the Gal Squad, and other friends, and hopefully maybe Jim and others. And we just talk about like anything really, and no agenda, and just really kind of set the week. I just want to set the tone for the week in those spaces, and it really helps me understand what's ahead for the week, because there's so many things that I might miss in terms of congressional hearings or milestones in the trials that we're all monitoring, and all kinds of stuff. So usually we walk away learning something about what the week ahead might portend. This week's going to be kind of important because this is one of the weeks when the Supreme Court could issue the decision in immunity. And I don't know. I don't think the prognostication is that this is the particular week that one will come out, but it's a potential. So this is an important month for Supreme Court decisions, and also the mifepristone, which is the day after pill. It's basically access to safe abortion health care, because abortion is health care, and also contraception and other access, trying to limit birthing people's, also the Chevron doctrine. Oh, what's the Chevron? Is that the I know it's ringing a bell, but my brain, and for those of you who don't know me, I have a little bit of a like brain issue sometimes. So yes, Project 2025 stuff, hugely significant. I remember us hearing that, and then I'm like just blanking completely. So, but yeah, so we do have a lot of things to watch for, and I planned pretty much streaming every day, one way or another, either out in the world or with some. There's a congressional hearing on Thursday, for example, that I think we're going to cover. So, judicial deference to agency interpretation of imprecise congressional empowerments. Oh, yeah. You know, I struggle all the time when, because I know it's like a balance of panic and reason, right? There's like a balance of reacting to what is ahead for us in the election and the potential outcomes. And then there is, and the Project 2025 and the, regardless of chances, a potential not a reaching 270 or, other things that are not desirable outcomes for democracy, for anyone. Yeah, don't get hyped. That's the thing. Yeah, I just, I don't, I think more in terms of, like my friends do, which is, okay, so let's understand it and let's make sure we're holding the identify the people who are accountable, help lift that information, and work hard to expose the source and details behind that. So it's like, what's that? It's kind of the balance of hype, I guess, because there are some very like there are people who are dying right now because Roe is gone. That's just real. So I think we have to vote and help as if everyone's lives depend on it. A little late on the case the Supreme Court is delivering. But I know we listened to that. I know we did. I know. Hi, butterflies. How are you? The Supreme Court takes a break in late June. Yeah, so they'll get all their. I was watching. I think it was what was it? Harry Littman. I think I was watching Harry Littman the other day, and or maybe it was something else. It might have been Lawfare blog, or maybe it was just reading their blog. I don't know. Anyway, there's quite a few Supreme Court cases that are yet to be have decisions issued, opinions issued. I don't know what the right terminology is. Forgive me. So that is there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff happening. So let's not worry about Trump's arraignment. Let's not worry about Trump at all. He'll be there. He'll still be there. But it's important too to know what the Supreme Court is up to. Right? I mean, I'm singing to the choir. I'm singing to the choir. I need to take a drink. I love water so much. I cannot tell you how much I love water. We have 387 viewers across all the platforms, most of them on Twitter. Hello, Twitter. Hello, everyone. Twitch, and also here on beautiful YouTube with the loungers, the OGs. Come on over to YouTube and be with us. Be with us. Oh, this is lurkers are also welcome. Always welcome. Lurkers are great. Make sure you hit the like for the algo. Do it for the algo. And really the goal I have is the message of media literacy gets out. That we are as informed as we can be. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Wouldn't it be wonderful if it was a public that was so like engaged and I feel like it would empower more people to speak up against the actual cretins. The people responsible are heritage federalist thralls who have been grooming such cases for years. Yes. I think, I don't know. I know the Gal Squad is very busy at the moment and in good work. I just want to plant the seed that only two. Well, that's fine. It's fine. I don't really mind. We have 407 viewers, butterflies. It's all right. I'm so happy. I'm happy for 2 likes. So I think that we have to have a conversation, kind of an easy to read conversation, a TLDR or something, to explain the institutes of mass destruction, like the Heritage Foundation, like the Federalists, like the Council for National Policy, like Tony Schaefer, not that he's part of that, but he's part of something else. But just like these kind of organized demagogue builders. And we could at the same time go over Project 2025 just on the high level, right? Like just kind of a primer of, okay, what are we looking at? So I think we could do that. That's all right. And the thing about the bedtime broadcast is I don't expect a lot of activity in chat or at the YouTube location itself, because it's really intended for you to be able to listen to and just enjoy it and kind of sit back and let me do the driving for once. Let me drive. Let me be the papa. Have you ever seen that cartoon? Let me be the papa. No metal. No, okay, we did a badumtis. Yeah, no metal. Although I like metal. Did you see that thing I posted on? God, I'm so glad you brought. Somehow, Cavalli came up, and I'm so happy because I just love that song. And now I'm seeing all these variations come up in my feed of that song, and I just love it so much. Did you see like the thing with the Scottish strings behind it and shit like that? That's fucking amazing. That was amazing. And a woman singing it? That was amazing. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, no metal. Oh, womp womp. Womp 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 womp. Let's see. So let me go ahead and get reading. Let's get reading. Get reading, woman. What are you waiting on? Wait, what is that song? Could have heard a pin drop. Wait, could have heard a pin drop. That's too high. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Got to label. I know. You know what the thing is I really do. Because I think now I have too many. Oh, you know what? I know where some are, though. I have those two off to the sides because they're like I'm trying to group things, right? I think it's perfect. So, yeah, I have those two. I have them grouped, like, right, those ones are under, like, the Monty Python ones, and then, like, the Mariah Carey one, yeah, but it does get a little weirder in the beginning. I don't know, you don't need the BTS. You don't need the behind the scenes. We have 452 viewers. I don't understand why, but I love you all. Thank you so much for coming. Media literacy. Go check your voter registration, because I'm hearing a lot of little bit nightmarish stories about people being knocked off voter rolls. So please, this summer, for a hot fed summer, since we may not have a hot fed summer, could you please check your voter registration now in June so that you can get everything settled before any kind of early voting, which has started in some locations, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to learn how to sing those. That's a really good challenge, actually. I love having something I can aspire to or get as close to. I may not. That's a full on balls deep soprano. I can't necessarily do that, but I can certainly try to stretch for it. Oh my God! You know what I got? Let me show you what I got. This thing's so weird. I don't really know how to use it. So if anybody does know how to use it, if you could tell me, that would be really great. No, actually, I'm going to Google. I'm going to Google it. Don't worry about it. Hold on. Let me show you this. Oh, man. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, here it is. Is that it? No, that's not it. Wait, is it? Oh! Oh my God. It's like the one thing I can't find. I see this thing 17 times a day, and now I don't see it. Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. Just kidding. Where is it? Oh my God, Becky. Did you see? Ah. What you looking for? Never mind. I don't want to talk about it. I've been looking at this thing 17 times every day, and now all of a sudden I can't find it. Okay, never mind. That's so funny that. Oh my God. It's like a voice exerciser. God damn it, I can't find it. Now we need an AI to transcribe music that an AI has made. Right? Right? An octave down? Oh, yeah. No, it's really just. It's like just out of reach. Wait, is it? That's like a high C, right? That first note. I can't even do it. I'm embarrassed to like do it. I'm going to mute myself. I can't even do it in a head voice. I can't even do it in a head voice. See, this is okay. So this, so this is. Oh, I really want to find this thing. I had my voice.
Your voice. Oh, the practice thing?
Yes, I had it like in here for 8 million years.
It's not in the car?
No, it's not in the car. Oh. Why would I have it in the car?
Well, I just remembered.
Oh, there it is. Oh. It's not. Wait. That's not it. Oh, that's it. Oh.
Nothing ever disappears from here, yeah. Never disappears from here, yeah.
That's Harry Howery testifying on the stand in the DC Board of Professional Responsibility. Is that software you're using? I downloaded a video clip of Harry Howery saying nothing ever leaves the internet. And then I put it in a movie thing, like just a PC based, I think it's called Clipchamp or something like that, where you can take a video and an audio and like remix them kind of simply. And so it's a free, I think it's part of Microsoft, but it was free. I don't have Microsoft 360 or any of that shit. I hate Microsoft with a passion. So, but anyway, so that's what I use to do that. And then I have a board, a board that has my microphone and a little pad that has some sounds. And then I just loaded sounds. I don't know. That sounded like a really terrible explanation, but I don't know. It might work. I wanted to see if there was, what was the one I wanted to do? See, I have to be fat. It's to Oomp's point. I've got to label them better because they're like super tiny writing, and of course I'm blind as a bat. So
Nothing ever disappears from the internet.
Oh wait, what's that? Oh well, that I do. I always hit the Three Stooges pretty well. Oh wait, here we go. This is one of my favorite. I'm sorry, this is not very ASMR, but you know what I mean.
He didn't get out of the cock-a-doodie car!
I love Annie Wilkes in Misery. Stephen King, I love you, and I have an idea for a spin-off book. I'm just saying. Okay, anyway, so what I got for singing, cannot use Clipchamp if not identified logged into MS Ecology. Well, I have a Hotmail account or something like that, or an Outlook account. I don't remember which one. And so that I'm logged in, but I don't have like a subscription, I guess is what I'm saying. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But yeah, you do have to be logged in. And I have the free version. I don't use that. But anyway, so I got one of these on the internet. And you change the dials. I've got to look up how to use it. But anyway, you're supposed to blow in and blow out, and it's supposed to help your voice become stronger. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not coughing. Anyway, I got to learn how to use that. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it every day. Rambling down the road. Every day I'm rambling down that road. Every day I'm rambling down that road. An F, what is that? An F sharp? You said it in an F sharp? Highest tone. The highest tone. You know who can sing solid soprano is Bobo. If it measured volume, it would be an inspirational, expirational respirometer. Yes. If it measured volume. I don't think it's just it's really just a piece of plastic. It's just a piece of plastic. Yeah, I think it's just supposed to build your lung thing. Hopefully, maybe it impacts your like breathing control though. It might help with breathing control. A workout dog whistle. Or you just look like an idiot. There's that too. Joke's on you. You look like a fucking idiot. Why not just sing? Well, no, but I think breathing is it's a different. I think No, I think breathing, I think you're supposed to. Don't. What do you mean? Why are you making me question that? What's wrong with you? I used to, I would love to have taken opera lessons when I was younger. That would have been really fun. I don't have I was thinking about that the other day. I was trying to sing a Sia song in the car, Unstoppable. Real.
All right, put the money.
That's not what I meant to do. Oh no, damn it! That's the blue button. Yeah, exactly. Feel free to reverence the below. Yeah, so I can lower it there. That's easy peasy lemon squeeze balls. But that's not the point. The point is aspirational. Aspirational, sir. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I wanted to be an opera singer. Actually, I didn't want to be an opera singer, but I wanted to sing like that. Like that power is just like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Anyway. Oh, where can I sing in the head voice? Oh, yeah. Where can you sing in the head voice? What does that mean pitch-wise? I'm not sure. Okay, because The thing is I was trying to sing Unstoppable. And it's when she goes into head voice, it's like, well, I think I can definitely be higher. I could probably hit, I don't know what note I can hit in a head voice, but it's definitely higher than my normal, if that makes sense. I mean, I can do it. But the effortlessness of what actual singers go between head and whatever, chest voice and head voice is really impressive. And I find to make it sound natural. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Let's be honest, okay? I just like to do what I do. I just gotta be me. Mr. Onstein. I'm a little more funny girl than I am Maria Callas. I'm a little more Fanny Bryce than Maria Callas. But I could be pretty callous. But I'm bumped. Wait. Oops. See, I gotta get better at that. Quick. We have 570 viewers. This is insane. I'm really grateful for everyone's eyeballs. I don't know if you're all bots, but you know what? I love bots too. Billing the law and layball. Surfing around before bedtime. Oh, I hope you had a good weekend too, Lee. Have a good sleep. Hope for a good week ahead, Lee. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll catch you during your afternoon tea or something. There better not be a fucking hearing in the morning. If one of those fucking judges decides to sneak in a motherfucking hearing in the middle of the morning, I'm going to be real bitchy about it. Yes. I will see you. I will see you sometime tomorrow. I'm hoping. And also the space, Lee. We're having a space tomorrow night too, if you can make it. Awesome. Love it. Have a good sleep. Sweet dreams, my love. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, I gotta practice. I mean, yeah, you're right. Why don't you just sing? Yeah, anyway, but yeah, that's fun. It's all fun. I love you too. Boop, boop, bum, 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 bum. Okay, we're gonna begin. All right. Now, all you need to do is sit back and just relax. I'm going to read you a bedtime story. I hope you fall asleep. Where were we last climate catastrophe week? I didn't actually, you know what, on this particular climate catastrophe channel, I didn't actually reread the last chapter, which is a big mistake. So I think we're going to discover where we are together. I think we're in the middle of a domestic or some kind of terrorist attack around climate crisis, but give me the last sentence. Okay, that's a good idea. It's smart. All right, we're going to begin with the last paragraph. I'm going to give you a whole paragraph because I'm generous. I'm built generous. And of chapter 25. Well, actually, I'm going to give you the last two paragraphs. I think she had just been not murdered. I think she had been abducted. I think. Or almost abducted. This is the head of the Ministry for the Future. So the Ministry for the Future is a kind of UN or global organization that was formed after a mass casualty event in India resulting from a heat wave. And so the governments get together, and as part of the Paris Accords, if they had gone differently, then there would have been this kind of climate-focused, looking forward agency, multinational agency that is in charge of determining what changes needed to be made immediately because the world was going to end with these. The advancement of the climate crisis had gone beyond potential solutions, and there was basically had run out of time. So we are in the point where the head of that has just been kind of accosted by a victim of the heat wave who survived. And I don't believe he actually took her with them. A Western Development, yeah. So one of the aid workers who actually survived the heat wave, that's how we opened the book, really becomes very angry, righteously so, around the accountability for the death that he witnessed and that is continuing. So let me read the last couple paragraphs of chapter 25 and then we'll get into chapter 26. She was angry at him and at herself. Her mind raced. She felt sick. It took about a minute for her to run through her options and realize what she had to do. She ran back inside and down the stairs to the outside door, ran out into the street calling, "Police, police, come back here, come back." And then they were back, hustling to her fast and staring at her curiously. She told them, "Thank you, Oomph." Oomph is giving some really good notes in the chat to help us catch up. Thank you. He had seized her in the street, held her at gunpoint. He was gone now, having left while she was talking to them. All true, though ever so incomplete. She realized as she spoke to them that she would never be able to tell anyone what had really happened. Things like that hour were not tellable. They were on their radios, alerting their colleagues. They led her upstairs, guns drawn. She sat back down on her kitchen chair, took a deep breath. Her hands were shaking. It was going to be a long night. Chapter 26. You can hide, but you can't run. There were cameras everywhere, of course, on the public transport systems, in the stores, on the streets. If he went out to get food, he would pass by surveillance cameras several times, no matter where he went. If he tried to leave the country, there would be passport control. Not so much within Europe, but still, a check could happen. If he traveled, he would eventually get checked. He had a fake passport, but he didn't trust it would work in situations like that. He was stuck here, in one of the most surveilled countries on Earth. But he had already learned where and how to hide. He had a place to live high on the side of the Zurberg, overlooking the city, were several blocks of community gardens. These plots of terraced and cultivated land were studded by little wooden garden sheds, storage containers for tools and fertilizers and pesticides and the like. One of them had a side wall panel he had pried off in a way he could glue back into position, and once inside the shed he could replace the panel and lie on the floor in his down sleeping bag and be gone by dawn, leaving no sign of his incursion. This shed he could use as his base. He could hide in Zurich itself. His fake passport had been the passport of a man back in the States who had died and never had a death certificate filed. Frank's photo had been inserted into it, and to that extent he was this other man, Jakob Saltzman. It would stay good for another 3 years, and he had created a credit card in that name with some money in the account, and he had converted most of his remaining money to 50-euro bills. He had a visa for his fake ID that allowed him to stay in Switzerland for most of the coming year, and a supposed job back in America, and an apartment rented in that same town, in that name down in the city. Actually, it was Jacob Saltzman, excuse me. All that had gone well over a year ago. There were cameras at the entrance to that apartment building, of course, but the back door that led to the trash compactor didn't have a camera, so he could come and go by that back way sometimes and use the apartment's bathroom. As Saltzman, he was a member of one of the lake swim clubs and could use those facilities too. And all day he could walk. He could wander without revealing his presence in any obtrusive way. He ate from food stalls that didn't have cameras, and bought other food from Migros and spent his days in parks where the cameras were few. Thus he lived a life that was not much registering in the system, but was not flagrantly off-grid either. Just low profile. No doubt after kidnapping a UN ministry head and forcibly entering her apartment and spending a night haranguing her, he was the subject of a big police search, not to mention what had happened down at Lake Maggiore. Salzman might have to be abandoned, but for a good while, at least, he could hide just a kilometer or two from the minister's apartment. And so, for the time being, he did. Chapter 27. Now Mary had a new problem: 24-hour police protection. Of course, there were worse problems to have, but it was surprising how upsetting it was to Mary until she considered it. She had lost her life, or at least her habits, her privacy. Sad to consider that these were much of what her life had come to. After the police were done with their questions and investigations that night, she went to bed and tried to get some sleep and failed. Police officers were still in her kitchen and downstairs outside the front door. That was likely to remain true for the foreseeable future. She damned her kidnapper with a million damns. She was hating him more and more, the more she thought about it. Even though what he had said nagged at her, even though the memory of his face troubled her, his wild-eyed conviction that he was right. Usually she disliked and distrusted people like that, but he had been different, she had to admit. A terrible conviction had been forced into him. His brush with death had made him mad, although in the end he had only shouted at her, kidnapped her to argue with her, then also her bathroom door swinging shut on her. In some ways he had fought hard to hold it together, to do nothing more than persuade her. Words like fist to the face, paper bullets of the brain. It was enough to make her heart hammer all over again. Her face burned with the memory. So she went into the office that morning in a very foul mood. They had promised her they would keep her apprised of their progress in the case, but she doubted she would learn anything important or timely. The young man had seemed confident of his ability to hide. That in itself was strange. No one should have that confidence, especially not in Switzerland. She wondered if he had some hideaway in Zurich, or near it, so that he could get to it quickly and go to ground. Wouldn't have to go on the run. She would find out later, or not. Meanwhile, she would be accompanied by bodyguards wherever she went, and some polite Swiss woman or man, or a trio of them, would be installed in her apartment with her. Damn, damn, damn. The damned fool. She could have killed him. At her office, people crowded around her and commiserated and such. She ordered them to get back to work and contacted Badim. He was on the train back from Geneva and texted his condolences. He had just heard. He would come to her office when he got in. He hoped she could meet him for lunch. That was good, actually. Get out of the office and talk frankly where no one could overhear. Require her new bodyguards to keep a distance. So just after noon, Badim entered her office and he went to her and briefly held her hands, looked at her closely, gestured at a hug he didn't enact. They left the office and walked to the tram stop, bought sandwiches and a chocolate bar and coffees, and walked back toward the office until they came to the little park that overlooked the rounded green copper roofs of the ETH and the city across the river to the west. They sat on one of the park benches. Her bodyguards were a couple benches down, the obvious bodyguards anyway. Mary had had to think about what to say to Badim, and in this matter, as in everything else this morning, her exhaustion caused a flurry of contradictory thoughts to ricochet around her. Something in her was resisting the idea of telling Badim the full story of her night, not that she could avoid it entirely. "I had quite a night last night," she said. "I'm so sorry," he said. "Are you all right?" "I'm all right. I guess I was being surveilled, and they saw me go into my apartment with the guy, and they came to check up on me. An hour later, I must say. Must have been camera stuff, and when they saw it, they came over. He slipped away while they were inquiring." "So I heard. I'm glad you're okay. Are you okay?" "No." I'm sorry. They ate in silence for a while. The city was its usual forest of cranes over gray stone. No sight of the Limmat from this vantage. To the south, just a narrow arc of the lake with a long hill that ran south from the Uetliberg backing it. I've been thinking about our situation, she said when she had taken the edge off her hunger. Our dilemma. Which is that we're charged with representing the people and the animals of the future, in effect to save the biosphere on their behalf, and we're not managing to do it. We're failing to do it because the tools at our disposal are too weak. You said something like that the time we walked to the lake. The world is careening along toward disaster, and we can't get it to change course fast enough to avoid a smash. Vadim chewed on his sandwich for a while. I know, he said. So what are we going to do about it? I don't know. She regarded him. A small, dark man, very smart, very calm. He had seen a lot. He had worked for the Indian government and for the government of Nepal, which had begun as a Maoist revolutionary organization. He had worked for Interpol, she said, trying it on. I think maybe we need a black wing. That surprised him. He looked at her for a while, blinking, and then said, What do you mean? I think we need to set up a secret division of the ministry, working in secret to forward the cause. He considered it. To do what, exactly? I don't know. She chewed for a while, thinking it over. Her kidnapper's vivid glare, the fear she had felt. I don't like violence, she said after a while. I mean, really, I'm Irish. I've seen the damage done. I know you have too. Secret wars, civil wars, the damage never goes away from those. So I don't mean killing people, or even hurting them physically. We're not the CIA here. But still, there are other things in the black, I'm thinking. Actions that are maybe illegal or in some senses ill-advised, undiplomatic. That would nevertheless forward the cause. We could consider them in secret on a case-by-case basis and see if any of them were worth pursuing. Things that we could defend doing if we got caught. He had stifled a smile, and now he shook his head a little bit. That's not sounding very black to me. One aspect of a black agency is that they must be uncatchable. Nothing can be written down. Nothing can be hacked. No one can talk to outsiders. The people in charge aren't to know about them. If there is any break in the secrecy, you, as head of the agency, would have to be able to deny all involvement, even any knowledge of such a thing without explanation or defense. You sound like you've had experience with such things. Yes, he was looking out at the city now. When was that? He regarded the gray city, thinking it over. He heaved a small sigh, took another bite of his sandwich, and washed it down with a big sip of coffee. Now, he said, as if starting a sentence and then not continuing it. Now what? She said, after he had paused for a while. Now, he repeated more firmly, and then looked at her. Always, in other words. What do you mean? I'm sorry, I can't talk about it. She found she was standing over him. Her paper coffee cup was quivering in her hand, half squished. He was wincing as he regarded her. He glanced at her coffee as if it might sting and as if she might sling it into his face. Tell me what you mean, she demanded in a grating voice. Now. He sighed again. Imagine that there might already be a black wing of the ministry for the future. That even I myself might have started it and after you hired me as your chief of staff. You started it? No, I'm not saying that, please. I'm like everyone else. I have some friends in the office. Whatever they do as friends, it would not be quite right to tell you about, precisely so that if something got out and you were asked questions, you could honestly say that you didn't know about it. Plausible deniability? Well, no, I think refers to having a good lie in hand. This would be more like proper functioning of an agency, keeping things as they should be. If ever questions were asked, which hopefully would not happen, but if they did, you would say you didn't know about it. If there were improprieties, others would take the fall, and you could go on with the ministry undamaged. As if it would happen that way. Well, it has before, pretty often, in fact. It's a common form of organization. Most unorthodox operations take place without their political heads knowing they exist. Certainly never the details, even if they're aware in a general sense that such things exist, as I thought you might be. The previous night's events all of a sudden crashed into her and shook her to the core, and she shouted, "I won't be lied to." The bodyguards across the little park looked over at them. "I know," Vadim said, looking pinched and unhappy. "I'm sorry. I haven't felt good about it. I'll tender my resignation this afternoon, if you like. Happy to fall on my sword right here and now. But I will remind you that you were just talking about the possible need for such a thing." "The fuck I was," she said. She waited for her heart to slow down, thinking that over. Too many thoughts were jamming her head at once, creating something like a roar. I didn't really mean it. And even if I did, I'll be damned if I'll have secrets being kept from me in my own fucking agency. "I know," he said, looking down. He took a deep breath, steeling himself. "Tell me, did this not happen to you when you were a minister in Ireland's government?" "What do you mean?" she cried. "I mean, you were head of foreign affairs, wasn't it? Did you think you knew everything your agency was doing?" "Yes, I did." He shook his head. "Surely not. Of course I don't know for sure, but Ireland was in a civil war for a long time, and that always has aspects that are out of the country, right? So your security forces almost certainly kept things from you, and they probably understood you to be knowing about that and wanting to keep it that way." He shrugged. "It's certainly been true in Nepal and India, and at Interpol too, for that matter. Interpol was the agency Mary had hired him out of." She sat down beside him, hard. Her coffee cup was smashed. Carefully, she sipped the remainder of the coffee out of one of the folded spots at the rim, and put the cup on the ground. "So I'm naive, is it? An innocent stateswoman in the world of real politic, which is, no doubt, the reason they gave me this job. I'm not saying that. I think they assumed you knew what you were doing. So what has this Blackwing of yours done so far, and who does it consist of?" Excuse me. "Well, but this is just what you should not be asking. No, no, please." He held up a hand as if to ward off the blow she was about to give him. "People might resign if they knew that their actions were known to higher-ups. Anyway, you might not even know these people. I'm not sure how acquainted you are with our whole staff." He watched her calm down. She picked up her crushed coffee cup and sipped from it again. "I'm head of whatever happens operationally," he went in a low voice, as if sharing a secret to conciliate her. "That's what a chief of staff does. People who help me when doing the needful gets tricky. They would naturally come from various divisions. Cyber security, of course. It's in the nature of their work to be preemptive sometimes. NatCat guys are often helpful. They're used to getting dirty. I mean, just physically dirty, working with machines and such. They're at the coal face. They see the damage being done and they get impatient to do something about it." That struck a nerve, and her sleepless night came back all in a rush. Not that it had ever left. Her stomach was a knot that the sandwich didn't quite fit into. "I met someone like that last night," she said. She reached out and grasped the back of Badim's hand. "That's the kind of person who kidnapped me last night. He was sick of doing nothing, of nothing happening." "I'm sorry," he said again. He turned his hand up so that it held hers. "Tell me what happened." She took her hand back and told him briefly, leaving parts out. "We probably should have been guarding you more closely," he said when she was done. "It was close enough, as it turned out. Besides, I think you offered it once, but I said no. I hate that kind of thing. Even so, it might be just for a while. They'll probably pick this guy up soon. I'm not so sure. It's hard to stay off the grid for so long, but not impossible." "No," he admitted, "not impossible." She shifted back into the bench, shuddered. Really, things were fucked. She needed to sleep, but here they were. Look, she said, thinking it over. You grew up in Nepal, right? And I grew up in Ireland. In both places, there was a lot of political violence, which really means murder, right? Murder and all that follows murder. Fear, grief, anger, revenge, all that. The damage never goes away. I can tell you that. And you probably already know it. And then the better murderers in these murder contests tend to take over in the end. It's not at all clear it has ever done any good in the world at all. Vadim wagged his head side to side, not agreeing with her. What? She cried. You know it's true. The damage has been tremendous. He sighed. And yet, he said, what was the damage before? And did doing some of these things lessen the damage overall? This is what is never clear. So what has this black wing of yours done? She exclaimed, suddenly frightened. I really can't say. He saw her face, temporized. Probably some coal plants have experienced problems. They've had to go offline, and the investment crowd has seen that and understood that they won't ever be good investments again. In a sense, you could say that worked. How do you mean worked? The plant stayed shut. Solar's gotten another investment boost. And new coal plant construction worldwide is down 80% since these things started happening. That could be because of the Indians shifting to solar. Yes. Has anyone been hurt or killed? Not on purpose. Has anyone been terrorized? You mean scared away from burning carbon? Yes. I think it might be good if that had happened, don't you? But how? Well, you know, what really scares people is financial. What really scares people is being fucking kidnapped. Granted, threat of violence, although access to their money, if people get cut off from that, they are definitely scared. Fuck, so you're playing the God game. Excuse me? Playing God, putting people through experiences they think are real, then seeing what they do. Maybe, but it wouldn't be just to see what they do, it would be to make them change. So you terrorize them. Well, but terrorism means killing innocent people to scare other innocent people into doing what you want. That's what it means today, right? It isn't just boo in the dark. No, I suppose not, but you scare people, you use intimidation. If we had, it might be a good thing. It might be doing the needful, as you were pointing out yourself, I think. She nodded. She remembered the young man from the night before. He had scared her, no doubt about it, on purpose, to get her attention. In fact, he had had to calm her down a little, maybe, just to get started, so that she would better take in what he had wanted so desperately to convey to her. He had wanted her to pay close attention to what he was saying so that she wouldn't forget it. A mammal never forgets a bad scare, and they were mammals. And indeed, she would not be forgetting. I just had that done to me, she said. The man wanted to scare me. It sounds like it. It worked, she said, looking at him. He looked back, letting her think that over. She considered it. She felt like her stomach was going to implode. All right, she said. Look, I want to know what's going on. I'll lie if it comes to that, or take the hit if need be, but I want to know. Do you really? I do. You have to promise me you'll tell me. Do you promise? For a long time he didn't speak. He looked out at the city, then at the ground. Finally, all right, he said. I'll tell you what you need to know. Everything? No. Yes. No. He looked her in the eye. I can't tell you everything. Because look, there might be some people who deserve to be killed. She stared at him. The sandwich inside her was getting trash compacted, it felt like. It would be better if she could just throw it up. Finally, she said, maybe I can help you to focus this program better than it is now. I know some things now that I didn't yesterday. I'm truly sorry about that. Don't be. There are things I should have known all along. maybe. She thought it over. Fuck. I know. But, well, we have to do something more than we've been doing. I think maybe so. Because right now we're losing. It's a fight, that's for sure. Chapter 28. The Hebrew tradition speaks of those hidden good people who keep the world from falling apart. And I'm going to pronounce this incorrectly. I really apologize. Please. The tzaddikim nistarim, the hidden righteous ones. In some versions, they are 36 in number, and thus are called the Lamed Vav tzaddikim, the 36 righteous ones. Sometimes this belief is connected with the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, and God's promise that if he could be shown even 50 good men in these cities, and then 10, and then 1, he would spare them from destruction. Other accounts refer the idea to the Talmud and its frequent references to hidden anonymous good actors. The hidden quality of the Nisharim is important. They are ordinary people who emerge and act when needed to save their people, then sink back into anonymity as soon as their task is accomplished. When the stories emphasize that they are 36 in number, it is always included in the story that they have been scattered around the earth by the Jewish diaspora and have no idea who the others are. Indeed, they usually don't know that they themselves are one of the 36, as they are always exemplars of humility, anava. So if anyone were to proclaim himself to be one of the Lamed Vav, this would be proof that actually he was not. The Lamed Vav are generally too modest to believe they could be one of those special actors, and yet this doesn't keep them from being effective when the moment comes. They live their lives like everyone else, and then, when the crucial moment comes, they act. If there are other secret actors influencing human history, as maybe there are, we don't know about them. We very seldom get glimpses of them, if they exist. They may be just stories we tell ourselves, hoping that things might make more sense, have an explanation, and so on. But no, things don't make sense like that. The stories of secret actors are the secret action. I'm going to stop us there and come back to the chat. Come back to the fireside. There's something really interesting about the word needful. And also in those chapters, I really, there's conversations in our world that are very, or that seem to be difficult to have. I shouldn't say they are difficult because I'm not educated enough to judge that. But I can appreciate that there are conversations in the world that are really challenging. And I feel like we're approaching one of those conversations now. Or, gosh, you know what? I'm speaking about it as if I know what's been happening, and I really don't. I'm just making an observation. My observation in this is that, one of the issues that I think humanity, I guess, has struggled with is, accountability, and that if you've ever worked in like a corporation, in kind of management in a corporation or any larger organizational structure, there's always a politic and a bureaucracy and other things that, frankly, I've always felt, and I know probably you have too, that always get in the way of really, really getting the shit done, right? Like whatever your mission was. Sometimes it feels like it's just really tough to get those, to get things accomplished, right? And I think that it is also that in the corporate culture, or at least in my experience in the corporate culture, which is, not terribly recent, but still relevant, I think. Um, I think that corporate culture encourages people to act not necessarily in the best interest of the end user, right? Like the reason you're a bakery is to make wonderful baked goods so that people enjoy them. And if you cut corners or you know, and I guess what I'm trying to say and what I see in this story is that greed and protecting corporate profits and all of the things that collectively we've all known have been happening, but we've allowed them to continue to happen. I feel like we're about ready to have a more substantive conversation about holding us to account. And I think in an example of that large conversation is the covert operations of agencies like the CIA, right? You know, like things that we've already all known that have been happened in our world that are really not in the best interest of humanity. I don't know. I feel oh, that's the cat toy. It jumped off the bed. I really feel like the that maybe there could be a sea change in the way that we allow corporations, maybe as an example, and governments to get away with what they get away with. Maybe that's coming. I don't know. I feel, you know, I feel like humanity moves like an elephant, not not in this, not always in the finer directions, externalities. I don't know. I find this really interesting. I find like social change really interesting. Like how social change happens. And of course, it also comes down to your perspective, right? My perspective as a white middle class woman is different than other people's experience, and the challenges are different, et cetera, et cetera. That toy is really. Go get that toy. Oh my God. I wish I could show you a picture, but it's like right on top of the laundry, and I'm not going to show you my dirty laundry. Dirty laundry. Anyway, sorry. I'm just rambling. I'm just rambling. I'm a rambling. I'm a rambling. Hey, can you grab that toy? Toy is making so much noise right now. Just
Guys,
just grab the toy.
I know, I'm getting it.
Okay, thank you. You're fine. Thank you. Oh my God. It's my fault. I turned it on. It's 100% my fault. Not dismissing your interest, but identifying externalities as the conceptual corporate valuation trick. Yes. Well, and I would hear more about that because I don't necessarily understand. I mean, I do understand, but I don't necessarily understand. It's kind of like how you protect each other in corporations, right? Like NDAs and all this kind of stuff winds up in more tragic commons. Yeah, than just commonly in the race to maximize shareholder value. Yes. Yeah. And I don't know. I guess I'm just hopeful. I'm hopeful that maybe we're at a generational moment where there will be substantive change about that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I hope so. More perfect union. That's the goal. That's the goal. Anyway. Well, I really like. There was a lot of corporate mission statement greening. Oh my God, yes. Oh, you just gave me like. I mean, here's the thing. It's all superficial. Let me tell you, as someone who was part of the, because I was on the nonprofit end of getting grants from those corporations and those foundations, I know exactly. I could write a couple books about that. girl washing, green washing, pride washing, you name it. There's a whole lot of washing. I can't tell you, man, the hoops people have to jump through to get a fucking grant for 10 grand, which basically it goes nowhere. It's so hard. My heart is with a lot of nonprofit people. So, and I saw it from the corporate side because I was in corporate on whatever they say on Wall Street or whatever. But so I was in finance and then I was in nonprofit for 22 years, 24 years. I don't even know. Wait. No, 20 years, 21 years, 21, 22, 22. Yeah. Anyway, point is, there's no point. The point is that I hope. And then I also, I hope that we can. I'm not gonna, because that's a third rail too. I'm not gonna say it. I don't, I want us to get to the more perfect union and do it in a way where we don't all kill each other. Texas, oh, I know. Texas opened a stock exchange to rival the NYSE. I did read that headline today. That's insanity. Are they getting ready to secede? Do they think that's actually going to help them? Do they have a GDP? What's their GDP? What is the Texas GDP, I wonder? Can they secede? My mother's buried there. I don't want them to secede. I got an interest in that land down there. That didn't sound like Texas. Yeehaw. Anyway, yeah, Texas. Silly rabbits. All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap her down. And I hope that it was, I hope I added something good to your evening. And I hope you are ready for your week. We have 722 viewers. I have to take a picture of that. I'm so sorry. I'm just like freaking out. It's like amazing to me. I was really grateful. I'm grateful for Eyes on Media Literacy. It has nothing to do with anything else than my mission, which is increase media literacy in this world so that we can make informed voting. Voting rights matter. Voting rights. Check your voter registration. That's your goal for June. Your to-do for June. All right. I will see you tomorrow in the dinosaur suit. And I think you guys are awesome. And thank you so much. And thanks for being here and helping get us with a great book and also helping me fill in from what happened last week. Wow. Okay. I gotta go. You gotta go. I gotta go. Everybody's gotta go. All right. I'll see you later.